This is Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details. Here are your hosts, Joe, Matt, and Chris.
Jayden Daniels led the Commanders to an upset victory in Detroit and now sits on the cusp of being the first rookie quarterback to ever have an opportunity to start in the Super Bowl. Just one thing's in his way, though. Just one thing. It is the best running back in the league for 2024 in Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles as the Commanders go into Philly with a known and formidable opponent. As this NFC East matchup is entering phase 3 of this year, as this will be the third time these two teams have faced off. And Matt, I'm telling you what, man, it has been interesting as the last one was in Washington, and it was a 36-33 victory for the Washington Commanders. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to double check. But I believe they split the season series with the home team winning both of those. In fact, they did, where the Philadelphia Eagles won the other matchup, a 26-18 victory in Philly. So if that holds, hey, Eagles fans, you're Super Bowl bound. But there's something you got to know about this Commanders team, and that is they have looked significantly better the longer the season has gone along. But they do have an injury concern on their offensive line as one of their starting offensive linemen tore his ACL in that Detroit Lions game, which could open up a lot of opportunity for a very, very stout and vicious Eagles defense, as well as a young but absolutely spectacular secondary to lock down this explosive and dynamic Washington Commanders offense. But Matt, I'm going to go to you on this one, as you've been taking it in the comment section on one of our shorts from the Commanders fans. Here's your opportunity to get them on your side and pick the Commanders purely out of just to say they beat your Lions, man. It almost feels like you got to go with them, but where are you at in this matchup? I mean, this is going to be a great matchup. These teams hate each other.
Yeah, to your point, Joe, first of all, Commanders fans, listen, this is what there's been a lot of people being like, oh, where's this guy at? Why is he responding to blah, blah, blah? I'm right here, man. I'm not ducking no smoke. I don't duck smoke. I'm right here. So for the 10 subscribers that we got from that video, if you're actually watching this one, I'm right here. Okay. I'm right here to address everything that I said in that video and to provide some context to that video. Okay. I've been on the Lions. Joe knows this. I've been on the Lions for 2.5 years. Okay. I've been riding with the Lions. It doesn't matter who the Lions were playing in that game. I would have rode with them. So they could have been playing the 85 Bears. I would have been riding with the Lions. So it was nothing against Jayden Daniels and the Commanders. And I said that in the video. I said that the 10-point spread was disrespectful to Jayden Daniels and the Commanders. I thought they were going to easily cover the spread. And not only did they cover the spread, they ended up dominating the game because Jayden Daniels, my God, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is just unbelievable. I've never seen, this is obviously the greatest rookie quarterback season ever, greatest rookie quarterback season of all time. And Commanders fans have a lot to be excited about. And again, for the Commanders fans that were coming at me, I can't be mad. Like you won the game, you did your thing, and I got to sit here and take it. So you guys were right and I was wrong, but you also cannot come to me. Commanders fans, there's one thing, okay? You cannot possibly come to me and say that at the beginning of the season, you thought your team was going to be in the NFC Championship game and have a legitimate shot to go to the Super Bowl, because there is nobody on the planet who actually thought that. Okay. There's nobody who thought that. I don't even know if the Commanders actually thought that. Okay. Because they have, like Joe said, have gotten way better throughout the season. And there's 3 times that I've doubted them throughout the season. They had that 3-game losing streak culminated by their loss to the Cowboys when they went from 7-2 to 7-5. I doubted them after that. We had a video and we were talking about, did we prematurely crown them? And I said, yes. I said, we prematurely crowned the Commanders because it looked like Jayden Daniels was hitting a little bit of a rookie wall. It looked like that defense was getting exposed a little bit. And then sure enough, they started turning it back on. I doubted the Commanders against Michael Penix in the Falcons game. I had Michael Penix winning that one, and Jayden Daniels won the toss in overtime, went down and scored a touchdown. And I doubted them last week versus the Lions, and they played mistake-free football. So I've been wrong every time. I've never doubted Jayden Daniels and his talent, but I've doubted the Commanders as a whole. I just thought the rest of the roster, it would be hard for a rookie to overcome it. And I still think the rest of the roster isn't great, but Jayden Daniels is. Jayden Daniels is already a top 5 quarterback. We talked about in a previous video the 4 best quarterbacks in the NFL. It's Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson in no particular order. Jayden Daniels is the 5th one in that right now, and he's proving it right now in the playoffs. So Commanders fans, you deserve it. You got your franchise quarterback. All the credit goes to y'all. And I'm actually, this might sound like this. I'm prefacing it because if I would have said it there, it might have sounded like sarcastic, but I'm actually really happy for you guys, Commanders fans, because again, you've been down bad since the last Super Bowl appearance in '91. You had to deal with Dan Snyder. You had to deal with the whole name saga and all that. So you guys are in a much, much better spot. And I'm very, very happy for you guys. But as far as this game goes, again, there's a lot of different things that are going to determine this game. Saquon Barkley being, one of the best, not just running backs, but players in the NFL, doing what he's done against your particular defense in those 2 previous matchup, 145 plus yards and 2 plus touchdowns in both games. And then going up against the Commanders rush defense, who even in this playoff run where they've been a little bit better, are still one of the worst in football. So again, that's a bad matchup for the Commanders. And then, you got Jalen Hurts in the passing game there, who isn't great as far as that goes. But again, you still got to deal with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and things of that nature. So I think this is going to be a really, really good football game. I do think it's going to be very entertaining. I'll get to my prediction a little bit later. But Commanders fans, you got me. I can't say nothing. You guys got me. Again, if you want to see the short, go back and watch it. But you guys got me. Again, they came and they showed up and they did their thing. So in this game, they have a legitimate shot to be in the Super Bowl now. Like this is going to be a great football game that I'm excited to watch.
Absolutely. And I got to go to the Eagles side of this thing now, because we in our Eagles video against the Rams, we had
Sure.
Eagles fans in there. They were like, "Oh, these guys don't even know. They don't even know who the Eagles are. The Eagles are the Eagles and stuff like that." And the funny thing is that we gave them a lot of props in that video about how good the defense was, how key their young Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean have been for them, and how dynamic and stout that defense is. They're a top 5 defense regardless of how you look at them. And in fact, just to give some clarity here, that Jayden Daniels has only been sacked once in the playoffs, all right? And that was against the Buccaneers for 0 yards, all right? So, it wasn't even really a sack. It was like he got back to the line of scrimmage. I can't even count that hardly, right? But he also hasn't thrown any interceptions for this. But if you look at the games against Philly, granted he's 1-1, he got sacked, I believe it is, 4 times in those 2 games, and had 3 turnovers to 6 interceptions. So, or 6 touchdowns. My apologies. 3 interceptions to 6 touchdowns. So you kind of look at, how Jayden Daniels is performing in the playoffs and how he performs against the Eagles. Collectively, he's got 567 passing yards in the playoffs against the Eagles in 2 games. That's 2, combined here. We're going to go ahead and do the math. He's only got 449 yards passing. So it's like almost a solid 100 yards less in the same 2 games, which is 50 yards less per game if he's facing the Eagles this year than what he did against the Bucs and the Lions. And so you can kind of see that the Eagles have played this team very, very stoutly. And granted, it was a big difference. Like you said, that they were in the middle of that slump when they lost to the Eagles the first time. They come out and they finish strong down the stretch. I think they won out 5 in a row, including that OT thriller against Atlanta, and then they knock off the Cowboys at the end of the year. The team's coming in hot. They figured it out. But the thing is, it's the Eagles in Philly. And Eagles fans are malicious. They're tough. They're gritty. They're mean. Even to their own team, they're mean.
Mean to everyone.
Mean. But it reminds me of one of my favorite football movies, Invincible. I love the Invincible movie. All right. The Vince Papale, big Vince Papale. Love that story. The Eagles are the city. That's who they are. No place in professional sports do I feel like a city is represented by a professional sports team so just it's ingrained in every fiber, every atom of their being, every building, every brick, every paver, every fucking manhole cover, stoplight, light pole, everything. It's just fucking bleeds green. Fly Eagles Fly is they don't say the national anthem in school in Philly. They sing Fly Eagles Fly. All right. Babies come out of the womb in Philly, fly Eagles fly, face paint on, ready to go to the fucking game. All right, that's what.
Those are the
happens.
first words.
First words: fly Eagles fly. Fuck mom, fuck dad, Eagles.
Oh damn!
All right, that's what it is. And I just don't know if a rookie quarterback is prepared for playoff Philly. Playoff Philly is not regular season Philly. There's a different level Philadelphia Eagles fans take it to in the playoffs. And I may have been a little disrespectful to that in the Rams video. I really thought that, I thought that the quarterback was better for the Rams. And I thought the coach was better for the Rams, but I forgot it was snowing. And obviously, I think that played a large part in it. So I'm going to go ahead and give my prediction for this game first. I believe this comes closer to the second game that they played. I believe that this game is going to probably go over the total of 48.5. I believe that this game is probably going to be closer to 60 points. I think it's going to be 30-27. And I think this is the first, and I said it in the Lions game. I thought that would be the first time Jayden Daniels didn't get his game-winning drive. I think this is it. I think this is the one where he's going to have an opportunity for a game-winning drive, and Philly locks it down. And I talked to one of my buddies who's a Ravens fan, and he goes, I want the Commanders and Bills to be in the Super Bowl, which means it's probably going to be Philadelphia Chiefs. So yeah. I'm going Eagles, baby. I'm making up for it. I'm sorry, Eagles fans. I'm sorry. I'm making up for it. You guys are going to the Super Bowl.
I can't be mad with that pick, Joe. I really can't. And like you mentioned with our Rams and Eagles takes, we were I did not, it wasn't that I disliked the Eagles that I picked against the Eagles. I picked the Rams strictly because I believed in the Rams and Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. And I think the very end of that game kind of proved me right, even though they didn't come through. Like, they were down 14 with 4 minutes left, and they made a really crazy comeback that almost won the game until Jalen Carter decided to take over the game. But obviously, the Eagles are a great team. Everybody knows the Eagles are a great team. Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFL. They've been that way the whole year. And since we don't have Chris and Sammy today, I figured since they're not here, I might as well still do the key matchups and the X factors. So I'll knock those out real quick. Okay. Key matchup to me in this game, Quinyon Mitchell. Okay. Quinyon Mitchell versus Terry McLaurin. The first matchup, Quinyon locked him down. Terry had 1 catch for 10 yards. Commanders lose. Okay. Second matchup, Terry McLaurin, 5 catches, 60 yards and a touchdown, and the Commanders win. So, and Quinyon Mitchell this week as well, he's expected to play, but he missed a lot of last game. He was out for last game, a lot of it because he banged up his shoulder. So again, if Quinyon Mitchell is a little bit banged up, Terry McLaurin can take advantage. That's a big advantage for the Commanders. Terry in their 2 playoff wins this year as well. 7 for 89 and a touchdown versus the Bucks, and then 4 for 87 and a touchdown versus the Lions. If Terry puts up numbers, good numbers, and the Commanders and scores a touchdown, the Commanders win those games. In games where Terry McLaurin has 60 plus receiving yards and a touchdown, the Commanders are 7-1 this year. So if he can get 60 yards, maybe get loose for a deep touchdown, Commanders have a great chance to win. So I think, but if he's locked up, like I mentioned, if Quinyon Mitchell locks him up like he did in game 1, it's going to be tough for them to win. But that right there is where my X factor comes into play. My X factor for this game, De'Ami Brown. This is a guy who not a lot of people were thinking about later in the regular season, but come playoff time, he has broke out in a big way. In the first round against Tampa Bay, 5 catches, 89 yards and a touchdown versus the Bucks. In the second round versus the Lions, 6 catches for 98 yards. And then versus Philly this year. In the loss, only 1 catch for 4 yards. In the win, he had 4 catches for 56 yards. So Jayden Daniels is gaining confidence in De'Ami Brown. If he can get loose versus Darius Slayer, Cooper DeJean, even if Terry gets locked up, it gives them a better chance to pass against this vaunted Eagles secondary, which is the best in the league. So, but for me, listen, okay, like I just mentioned, okay, the Eagles are a great team. If you're using your head, the pick is Philly here. You pick the Philadelphia Eagles. Saquon, like I mentioned earlier, against another bad run defense, he's already put up basically 150 yards a game and 2 touchdowns a game against his defense twice already this year. The one game that the Eagles lost, Jalen Hurts was hurt for most of that game. So if Jalen Hurts is healthy, you got to think it's a big boost. Philly's defense is unreal. We saw Jalen Carter take over the game down the stretch. Nolan Smith was really big on that defensive line as well. Obviously, we know about the secondary, but and Philly's defense is really good. I don't know if it's enough to completely slow down Jayden Daniels, like completely shut him down, but it could slow him down. And they did it once already this year. In the other game, they had 2 picks. So again, Philly is the easy pick here. Okay. And Philly in their last 15 games, 14-1, the Philadelphia Eagles are in their last 15 games. However, Joe, that only loss, the Washington Commanders at Washington in week 16. I get it. Jalen Hurts was hurt. Okay. But even with Hurts healthy, who do you trust more between arguably these are the 3 most important positions in the NFL right now. Okay. Between these 3. Okay. Head coach, do you trust Dan Quinn or Nick Sirianni more? Okay, Nick Sirianni is a head case to me. Nick Sirianni, you never know what he's going to do. He might fight a fan. He might fight one of his players. You don't know what's going on. Okay, so to me, I trust Dan Quinn more in this situation. I've seen Dan Quinn in these situations a lot. Okay, quarterback, to me, it's not close right now. I trust Jayden Daniels way more than I trust Jalen Hurts. Offensive coordinator / play caller, Cliff Kingsbury or Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore almost lost him that game last week trying to run the bootleg with 2 minutes left for no apparent reason, getting Jalen Hurts sacked and then giving the Rams the ball back. So to me, I trust Cliff Kingsbury. And again, that second matchup, that Eagles defense was healthy. Jalen Hurts might not have been healthy, but that Eagles defense was healthy. Jayden Daniels went for 340 total yards and 5 touchdowns. Okay. That gave him confidence versus that defense. He's confident, and I'm confident in him. I am picking with my heart, Joe. Jayden Daniels is doing it again. Okay. Another game-winning drive. They're going to be down 27-21. They're going to get the ball back with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Jayden Daniels to guess who, Joe? Olamide Zaccheaus with 8 seconds left on the clock, and the Commanders get their first Super Bowl appearance since 1991. 28-27 Commanders at the buzzer, Joe.
Oh, yeah. Scary Terry's going to be – that matchup's going to be key. Brown, yeah, Brown's my X factor.
Olamide Zaccheaus.
Olamide Zaccheaus. Hey, yeah, man, we're going to find out.
He had 2 touchdowns in that second matchup.
We're going to find out. What do you win with, your heart or your head?
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.